I was always afraid of the basement in my grandparents' house. Every time I went down there, I felt like someone was watching me. One day, I decided to investigate and went down to the basement. As soon as I reached the bottom of the stairs, I heard a strange noise, like footsteps. I called out, but no one answered. I felt my heart rate increase as I began to explore the basement. Suddenly, I felt something touch my shoulder, and when I turned around, there was nobody there. That's when I realized that I was not alone in the basement. I had always been skeptical of ghosts and spirits until I moved into my new apartment. Every night, I heard strange noises coming from the corner of my room. I felt like someone was watching my every move. I tried to ignore it, but the feeling only grew stronger each night. One night, I decided to take a picture of the corner, and to my horror, there was an apparition of a woman. From that point on, I knew that I was not alone in my apartment. Growing up, I had a favorite doll that I took everywhere with me. But one day, strange things started happening. The doll's eyes would follow me, and it would move on its own in the middle of the night. I tried to tell my parents, but they didn't believe me. One night, I woke up to the sound of my door creaking open. I saw the doll sitting at the foot of my bed, staring at me with its unblinking eyes. I screamed, but nobody came to my room. From that point on, I never touched that doll again. I was driving home from a late night out, feeling tired and a bit woozy. The roads were deserted, and the only sound was the dull hum of my car's engine. As I drove, I noticed a figure standing on the side of the road, shrouded in darkness. At first, I thought it was just a hitchhiker, but as I got closer, I could see that something was off. The figure was unnaturally tall, with limbs that seemed to stretch on forever. And then it turned its head, and I saw that its face was twisted into a grotesque grin. I tried to look away, but I couldn't. I was transfixed by the creature's eyes, which seemed to glow with a sinister light. I felt a cold sweat starting to form on my forehead as the creature began to move towards my car. I tried to hit the gas, but the car wouldn't budge. It was as if the wheels had become rooted in the pavement. The creature was getting closer, and I could hear its ragged breaths echoing in the silence. And then, with a sudden burst of movement, the creature was upon me. Its cold fingers curled around my throat, and I felt its hot breath on my face. I tried to scream, but no sound came out, and then everything went dark. I woke up in a hospital bed, surrounded by doctors and nurses. They told me that I had been in a terrible accident and that I was lucky to be alive. But I knew the truth. The creature from the side of the road had followed me home, and it was only a matter of time before it came back for me again. I had always been fascinated by the abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town. As a child, I would ride my bike past it, trying to catch a glimpse of its overgrown gardens and crumbling archways. And now, as an adult, I couldn't resist the urge to explore its decaying halls. I made my way through the overgrown gardens, pushing aside vines and branches that had grown out of control. As I approached the front door, a shiver ran down my spine. The mansion loomed over me like a giant, its empty windows staring out like so many vacant eyes. I pushed open the door, feeling the rusty hinges creak under my weight. Inside, the mansion was silent, save for the sound of my footsteps echoing off the walls. Dust covered every surface, and cobwebs hung from the rafters. I made my way through the mansion, feeling both excitement and dread at the same time. And then I heard a sound, a low, guttural growling coming from somewhere deep within the house. My heart raced as I realized that I was not alone. I tried to turn and run, but my legs felt like lead. And then I saw it, a creature, unlike anything I had ever seen before. It was covered in matted fur, and its eyes glowed with a sickly green light. And then it started moving towards me, its jaws snapping open and shut with a deafening sound. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I was frozen, unable to move as the creature got closer and closer. And then, with a sudden burst of energy, I turned and ran, feeling its hot breath on my heels. I made my way through the mansion's twisting corridors, feeling as if the walls were closing in on me. And then I saw the front door, the only way out. I ran towards it, heart pounding, only to find it locked. I turned back around, searching for another way out, but it was too late. The creature was upon me, its jaws opening wide. And then everything went dark.